Well, Claudia and Liza, 3 years of preparation for this summit are now coming down to the last few hours. It was supposed to end at 6 o'clock this evening. It's now just been confirmed that talks will in fact go on. But at the end of it all, will all the delegates and governments here actually be able to come up with something that will make a real difference to the biggest problem facing humanity?
The consensus of all those meeting in Glasgow is that the world faces more of this. And the only way to stop it is a huge reduction in carbon emissions. But are they going to sign up to commitments here that will get us closer to that goal? From Boris Johnson, a last-ditch appeal to world leaders.
This is the moment. Tell your negotiating team how important this is. Tell them to have the conviction and the courage to come together and agree that cover decision, because people are watching this around the world. It's a moment of massive choice for the world.
Countries are still arguing about the language in the text about phasing out fossil fuels. Many think it's just too weak. They're also arguing about whether countries must come back next year with new, more ambitious targets to cut emissions, and about how much money rich countries might provide for poorer ones to adapt. But they are not impressed. Young climate activists inside the complex sensing an opportunity slipping away.
What do you think of the text as it's been published this morning?
It's absolutely insufficient. The mentions to fossil fuels must remain in the text and must be strengthened.
So, have you given up hope?
I have. We're still fighting. We won't stop. We will fight. We'll come together and we will make the leaders listen to us.
Among those still hoping for a breakthrough here, the world's small island states.
If we are not drowned by sea level rise, like some of the islands in the Pacific are saying, we will be drowned by debt because we have to borrow monies to rebuild, so we'll have to address that as well.
For this analyst, there's not enough so far to keep the global temperature rise to the target of 1.5 degrees.
What needs to happen now is that the European Union, who have been almost absent in these talks, and the United States need to join together in solidarity with the vulnerable countries who are really suffering climate change impacts and stump up the money to get a really good deal and stop the climate delayers and wreckers, the Russias, the Saudi Arabias, the Australias of this world, to get a really good deal and push it over the line in the next 24 hours.
Is Glasgow going to be just another forgotten summit, or could something really happen here to change all this? We should know within hours.
Andy, they're kind of fine, aren't they? Do you think a meaningful deal can actually be struck?
Well, it's important to say there has been progress here on reforestation, on limiting methane. That deal between America and China, for instance, to cooperate on climate change when they're at loggerheads on so much else. But I have to say on that big one of have the people here done enough to limit temperature rise to 1.5 degrees? At the moment, the consensus seems to be they have not done enough. But the negotiation is continuing. Perhaps we simply have to wait and see at the end of it all whether people take a different view and whether Glasgow COP26 will go down as a moment when real progress was made, or was it an opportunity lost?